it's a pretty odd feeling when there's a character that you're not really fond of who ends up having a moveset and just like abilities that you enjoy seeing, as well as that you're just entertained with watching on screen. Since his introduction, because we knew about the Zenin clan and how they treated people within them from Maki. Like we know that Maki wasn't treated well because she didn't have the abilities that that they had hoped that she would have. But she wants to overtake. She wants to overtake the ranks of her clan and become like the head person. But she actually can't see curses normally, so she wears the glasses. And she's just like an extreme like martial artist and heavy hitter, kind of like Toji. And Toji like straight just walked away from the Zenin clan entirely. So this guy, Naobito, he's clearly very powerful. I think we already knew that just from his rank. He seemed very confident. But he comes off entirely as like a jerk. Because he's just a complete like raw jerk. He doesn't seem like he's got any like redeeming qualities like if you were to interact with him. But he has a cool power. I mean, in the way that he started this arc, I could see like some people not like him and some do, just in the way that he was like kind of like this lazy drunk like into battle, and it's like, okay, I can see where this could be pretty fun to watch. Nothing crazy, but we'll see how things go. And then in the last chapter, he used like his ability, which was pretty strange. Like he pretty much just like had as his name Dagon in here. He just had him in like this weird like little void space. It looked like he got trapped in the Phantom Zone, and then it just kind of sets him up for an attack. And this one we actually see a little bit more of it. It's like Dagon just goes for like a big water sphere and just drops it right there and creates like a big torrential like just spray of water all around him. And you see now Beetle like using his power, and he's just like moving his hands, getting his stance, and he's got all these weird like squares around him. And I imagine each and every one of those is, one of these like little trap, like Phantom Zone like barriers. I'm gonna call it a Phantom Zone a lot until we get a name for the ability, because we saw him talk a little bit, like just kind of hinting at his ability when he's like talking about how many frames there are in a second of animation. So I'm guessing what he can do is he can kind of like freeze frame you in just like a moment. He'll however his ability works, and then he'll just kind of like lock you in like just a complete like still state. I think another easy way to describe it besides the Phantom Zone is, I think I got pretty good odds if if you're watching my channel, if you read Black Clover, it's just kind of like how Julius has his chronostasis. He could just lock somebody in like a repeating single second to where they're pretty much just apprehended. That seems to kind of be what he can do, like what Naobito can do, because he's talking about, and he's just like, it's all about resolution these days, and wanting to increase frame rate, 4K and 60 FPS. So I'm guessing it'll literally just be like a weird kind of like thing that he sets, and then bam, locked you in place, and then has like so long before it breaks, and he can just go land an attack. I thought that was pretty cool, just in theory, but just like also what his ability looks like. I think he has a really cool power. Like he's like fighting him, Maki goes in, Maki tries to land an attack, doesn't do anything, and then Dagon just goes to attack. But here comes in Naobito, who lands one of his like weird freeze frame Phantom Zone attacks right on him, and then bam, here comes in the big boy Nanami himself, just lands an attack on him, just like smashes into it. Like he cuts through, and the weird thing, it's like it doesn't have the same moment of just like hitting that he got in the previous chapter, at least that Naobito had, because he like hit him and there was just like a straight yeah, that impact was made. He didn't have time to defend. But when Nanami went to attack, he slashed through like the Phantom Zone little thing, and Dagon pretty much just blocked it before he had the chance. I'm very curious to know what exactly that's gonna really be explained at, because it's a very strange power. I mean, I can get a kind of a gauge on how I think it works, but as it is, like that's still only kind of like an estimation, and nothing like for sure in canon to tell me what it is. But he's just like trying to go for it. He's being smart. He's like noting things about his attacks, and he's got like this like Dagon brings out this like weird. It kind of just looks like a big noodle around him, but it's actually just like water that's like condensed down for him to like attack and defend at. And they're just all like rushing in and saying how they're gonna get him. You know, they're pretty much gonna overwhelm him with speed. It was noted that now Beto is really fast. Like, he's faster than Jogo from what Dagon said, which is really impressive. Because if he's emphasized on speed and landing these weird little Phantom Zone things, I think that just is really like a fun way for his moveset to be. He's all about just like racing around, getting right up to his opponent, laying in these weird like still frame like techniques, and then just landing heavy hit attacks on him and just leaving openings open for him to just bombard his opponents. I actually really like that. I think that's just a really interesting power. I think it has a lot of uniqueness to it. And maybe there's like characters with somewhere out in fiction who have a similar power, but this is the first time I think that I've at least seen it in in like a series. I'm sure if 1982 in this issue of Superman, it's like, okay, oh cool. Listen, I get like almost every power. There's probably like a handful of powers that have never been done before, but those are lost somewhere within the the secrets of writing. But for now, it's still at least the first time I'm experiencing this power, and I think it looks really cool, and I like the performance and the display of Naobito's weird like portal things. I think that's really cool, and I've enjoyed it a lot. So other than that though, it's a pretty fast to read, solid chapter. I like the power. I like the enemy that they're facing. It was cool to see this guy just kind of in the background for a while. And at the end of the chapter, like, he does like a territorial expansion and just lays out like the area that is going to be his territory. And what is his territory? It's like the zone that they were all at. Like, it's their base. It is like the headquarters area that all the like special grade cursed spirits would go to, or it's just like the beachside area. And I think that's actually really cool, because one of the questions that I had, it wasn't a major thing, but it was just like more of like an interest thing of like, what if they all got this weird like where do they get this weird beachside like cabana of a base? Because it was a really weird thing just to think about, because it was their like little HQ, and it was like, oh, that's a weird choice to kind of do with these characters. And then what exactly, like, how exactly are they doing this was also a question. And if it's this dude's expansion, like territorial expansion, that's pretty cool. It shows that even before he like molted into the form that he's at now, he was still powerful enough that he had a territorial expansion all kind of just like set up and ready to use. So I like that a lot. I thought that was actually really good, and I'm pretty hyped to get to the next chapter. And like I said, it's a little difficult because I don't like Naobito as a person, because we know his past. We know like the way well, we don't know his whole past. We know like how he relates to other characters' past, like Maki and Toji. So that he's not a good person at all, but he's got a really cool fighting style, and I really like that about him. I think his like just like watching him on screen is really fun. Like I said, the best way to describe it, it's like I don't like him as as who he is as a character in the context of going off of like other characters. If we didn't have like Maki and Toji's backstories, and this is the first time we're really seeing anything about the Zenin kind of like the household and how they operate and stuff. This is the first time we really saw any of this. I'd say, okay, yeah. I mean, he's not going to be he's not going to be that bad. Maybe he's just going to be cool. But no, he's all right. He's not like a crazy dude, but he's definitely not very polite. He's not like a likable guy. But I think that at least so far, he's fun enough that we can watch him just like on the screen and get a good show. So other than that, though, like I said, comment below, thumbs up the video from the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. Other than that, I appreciate everyone who's already subscribed. I thank you all for listening.